my name is Hanifa. I'm a teacher for our last project, constructing object using metals. So we move to the surface finishing process. The surface finishing can be done by a machine, for example a CNC machine, but for the casual use or a beginner, normally we'll only use the manual machine, for example with the help of power machine, angle grinder especially, or we use metal files. Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you how to use the angle grinders to remove the welding bumps here, making it into the very smooth surface. Alright, for the beginning, as a beginner, it is important to know basics types of grinding disc. Alright, the first one is grinding disc. This is the grinding disc. You can see by its recognizable thickness. It's very thick, and this is the cut off disc. Okay, it's very thin, very different with the grinding disc. The purpose is to cut. This one is to remove metal surface by grinding. Okay, so this is the flat disc. Alright, the purpose is to smoothen the surface. After we use this grinding disc, we will use the flat disc to make the surface very fine and smooth. Alright, so these numbers, the higher the numbers, smoothen the surface. Okay, so now I'm gonna use the grinding disc to remove the bump first. Okay, I'm gonna grind the bump almost level with the surface. The purpose is to remove the bump easily and faster than the flat disc. Alright, so first you turn on the switch, okay, the power, okay, and then turn on the angle grinder. So make sure you wear eye protection and also ear protection. Okay, so grind until it almost the same level with the surface. Alright, so we can see the close-up of the surface after using the grinding disc. The same level with the surface. So the rest we will use the flap disc to smoothen the surface. Now I change the machine with the flapping disc, so flapping disc will smooth the surface. You can see after. Right, I'll start. Okay, you can see the surface is smooth and shiny. Alright, after we smooth the surface using the grinder, somehow we will find that some of the edges is not really fine. So you cannot use angle grinder because it's quite fast and you might suddenly remove more surface than you are intended. So you can use metal file to slowly remove and refine the shapes. Okay, so there are about 4 types of metal files. So this one is flat metal files. You can see it's flat. This is the triangle metal files. It's distinguished by its triangle looks. This is the half moon. Okay, half rounded. Okay, this is the rounded metal files. Alright, before we use the metal files, we need to know about the shaving directions. Okay, the shaving direction of the metal files. Alright, if you pay close attention to the surface of the metal files, the surface is actually have this pattern. So this is the shaving and cutting direction, which means that this peak is actually facing forward, so you need to push forward to cut or shaving. If you push and you pull to the backward, it doesn't cut. It just run through the surface. So the best is push and move forward, so it will shift and cut. Alright. Somehow you will find that there are different types of metal shapes. For example, this is tubular hollow. It's rounded, and this is the square hollow. It has a square shapes. So for rounded, to remove these sharp edges after the cutting process, you can use the rounded files like this one, for example. Okay, to remove the insides, and for the outsides you can use any flat surface of the metal files, any flat surface, so you can, so it only shifts when you push downwards and forwards. Okay, see how every metal files here behaves when you shaving. For example, I use the triangle one. You can see it has a flat surface and quite long. This is the round file. You can see how it affect the surface. It's narrow and looks like an oval shapes, and is cut quite deeply because the surface is rounded. And this is the flat files, almost like a triangle, but it's remove the surface faster. Okay, it's depend on the roughness of the surface. So for the half rounded, it serve both purpose, either surface, flat surface, and also for the rounded surface. And also the edges here is actually for cutting. Okay, you can see it make a deep cut on the metal, so it's suitable to remove the edges like this one. Okay, so you can use the angle here. See, it has a fine 90-degree corners, and also you can use on this one. Okay, see. Okay, so it improves the corners of this jointing. Alright guys, so we're already in the final phase before the finishing process, which is painting. So as you can see here, this is the surface after the welding, but before the grinding and polishing. And this is the surface after the grinding and polishing. So somehow we leave a little bit of welding marks here, welding bumps here, just to ensure that these both materials are connected. Because if we remove the welding completely, somehow the material will detach. So we can start the painting process, the finishing process, with one coat of anti-rust. Alright, so you can use the aerosol spray. Keep the distance in between 15 to 20 centimeters from the object and the spray nozzles. Alright, and then you can start spraying. So you can push this spray nozzle slowly. Don't have to spray it continuously, because somehow it will cause uneven surface of the paint. We will let the paint dry. It actually depends on the weather. If in a sunny day, the drying process takes about 10 to 15 minutes to be completely dry. So let's wait. Okay, now 15 minutes has passed, so now we can put the final coat or the final colors to the objects. So here I'm using the white color. Alright, so I'm gonna start spraying. So shake your aerosol spray and you can start. Okay, now this is the final coat of the paint, so we have to wait another 15 minutes to let it dry, and then we will complete this finishing process. Reach our end of our session of metal joining process for our last projects, constructing object using metals. So I hope you learn something from this process, and this process actually need a constant practice. So you need to learn again and do practice. Alright, so I hope you can gain some knowledge from this video. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye, see you again.